So this segment we're going to be talking about Kent lorry chaos. Thousands of lorry drivers spend Christmas in cabs. So this video recording on the 25th, so it's going to go out on the 26th. So there'll be a lot more lorry drivers being able to go home, but at the same time it's a very sad situation for them. Thousands of lorry drivers waiting to cross the English Channel to France are spending Christmas Day in their cabs. In Kent, hundreds of military personnel have been deployed to help clear the backlog of about 5,000 lorries which are waiting at Manston Airport. Drivers are allowed to travel on the condition that they test negative for COVID-19 before boarding a train or ferry. Traffic has started moving through the port of Dover. So French firefighters have been supporting the testing effort, and a group of Polish medics who was deployed to the UK on Thursday to help test drivers. The Polish news website TVN24 has reported some lorry drivers have already spent a week stranded following the closure of the border on Sunday. Grant Sharp said, "We need to get the situation in Kent caused by French government's sudden imposition of COVID restrictions resolved as soon as possible." The thing is, in this situation, right? Who do you blame for this? Because there are different things at play here. So you have this new strand of COVID, which is far more infectious than the old strand. Okay, it spreads far quicker. So the UK has been imposed with a massive travel ban. Okay, for multiple countries in the EU. So what France did was they shut down the border between Calais and Dover, and so what that means is that all those lorry drivers are stuck, and they had to prove that they tested negative before they could go. And so is it the fault of the French because they shut down the border, even though a lot of other countries have hit the UK with travel restrictions? Is it the fault of the UK for talking about this new strand that's 70% more infectious without having a ton of scientific evidence behind it? Because I don't think there is. Or is it no one's fault? Because at the end of the day, the UK announced that there was a more infectious COVID strain, and obviously these drivers have been, some of these drivers would have been going, in different areas of the country, could have caught COVID and could have, gone back to France or, wherever they're from, because we know a lot of these drivers are from, multiple countries in the EU, and then spread that infectious strain throughout. In their native countries or wherever the job ended. And so whose fault is it at that point? I think locking down the border from France, I don't know, because if any of these lorry drivers did test positive for COVID, it would mean that you'd get a much sharper wave throughout Europe. But then if because they did do it in the way that they did it, it does mean that obviously these lorry drivers were stranded at very short notice as well. But how can the UK get mad at the EU when we weren't talking to? We've known about this new strain since September. So had we been talking to the various groups about this since September, we might not be in the situation. But it's very hard to blame anyone. The only people I feel for is the lorry drivers, to be honest, because they've got a very long job as it is. Many hours. They get paid not by the hour, but by kilometre or per the job. So they're not even going to compensate for this. So I'd want to see the governments come together and compensate these workers, because they've lost out on a lot of pay. They've missed out on Christmas with their families, and they've been stuck in these in the lorries essentially for weeks, for a week, with very limited amounts of food, awful living conditions, and a lack of toilets and stuff like that as well. So I don't know. I don't know who's to blame here. Let me know what you guys think. Who's to blame here in the comments. But yeah, I feel so bad for these lorry drivers. Get paid, for the job or per kilometre. They don't get paid for sitting around, and so they're going to lose out. They've lost out on Christmas with their families. And so I don't know what more to say. I don't know who's to blame, to be honest. Shouts out to all the charity groups and stuff that have given these lorry drivers food and have really helped them out. Shouts out to all the key workers, doing the testing and things like that. But yeah, it's just a very sad situation right now. And so yeah, we're going to see more about this COVID strain. If it's not as infectious as first thought, I think I would put the blame at the UK government. If it is, then it's either at the French government or at no one's fault really, that both countries did what they had to do in that in this situation. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.